This is Football Focus Weekly with CFI, Charlotte Football Insiders. Starring the pet man Matt Morrow, owner and founder of CFI. With him we have Cherie Glenn, our lead reporter, knocking out interviews, going all over the place, just being the queen of CFI. We have Brandon Black, the man behind the camera, the producer, and our photographer does a great job getting those shots every week. We have with us assistant West Charlotte football coach Brandon Phillips. Very energetic young man. Former head coach at Central Cabarrus and East Rowan High Schools, Kenneth Mclamrock, one of our big football experts. And then last but certainly not least, we have Josh Kroll, former Christ the King head coach, former offensive coordinator at multiple schools. And we are Football Focus Weekly. All right. Good evening, everyone. Pet Man Matt Morrow here. This is Football Focus Weekly. We have a lot of things football related we want to talk about tonight. But of course, with everything going on in the world currently, as far as sports goes, you see the NBA sitting out tonight and possibly longer. We've seen some baseball teams. Milwaukee Brewers are not playing tonight. We moved our sound off segment to the beginning of the show because we have a few things to say, some things that need to be said, in all of our collective opinions. And, if you guys have followed us, you know that Coach Phillips, Brandon Phillips, assistant coach at West Charlotte, has been very vocal, on the subject, and rightfully so. So we are going to lead off with sound off, and we are going to go to Coach Phillips. And I told the guys before the show, this is open. You can, pretty much speak your mind. And this is what, we're going to do to start off the show. So I'm going to bring in Coach, and I'm going to let him sound off.
This week been crazy. It's, had the shooting, had the stuff with the RNC. First thing first, I'll say this, and this is me talking. Herschel Walker don't speak for me. The way I view a friend, when he said Donald President Trump, I don't respect the man because he has a title. President Trump has been a friend for so many years. Let me tell you something. You're a friend of mine, and you're in a group setting, and you let somebody scream. You're talking about President Obama. Not just anybody, not just another, person. He's a black man. And you let somebody scream out monkey. And you said, you ain't no friend of mine. You're not. Secondly, y'all crazy trying to defend these shooters. Crazy. You're crazy. Y'all so loud in the coaching community, in the fan community about let us play, let us do this, let our kids go back to school, let us do this. Man, how about letting our black young men and women live? Can I live? I'm a father. I'm a son. I'm a brother. I have people I'm responsible for. But wait, y'all comment on things when people speak out on Black Lives Matter, it is terrible. I don't feel safe. I get nervous when my ex-wife says she's out and about. Hey, you need me? Please be safe out here. Let me know you need me. I just get nervous. I can't sleep at night. I'm nervous. We got people who are supposed to be here to protect and serve. They're not doing it for black folks. When we say Black Lives Matter, it's not saying that we don't care about white lives or Hispanic lives or anybody else. But right now, the judicial system is failing black folks as a whole. And then y'all ramble off where they can comply. We could comply all we want, and we're still gonna end up dead. This ain't Black America versus white America. This is Black folks versus a country that shows on a constant basis that they don't love us like we love them. But you care about me when I'm playing sports. You care about me when I'm serving your military. You care about me when I'm doing all this stuff. But I say something and say, hey, can we have the same equality and freedoms that our other brethren, our other counterparts have? Oh, y'all are racist. Y'all must do that. It's not that. You're using bigotry. Jason was like, I wish he'll shut up. Then how y'all degrade women. The WNBA announced that they was not playing. Oh, they're playing. I didn't know they were playing. And you call yourself a man. Some of y'all call yourself men. We're supposed to protect women and children. That's our job. That's my job. Even though that's my ex-wife, I'm supposed to protect her still. My mother, my grandmother, my sisters, that's my job. Not anybody else. That's my job. Coaches, you don't have to get on social media and say, hey, I support Black Lives Matter movement. But what we're telling you is you're so quiet for these Black boys to play. And then y'all talk about mental health. Man, when I came out the birth canal, I came into the world with mental health issues. I came into a world where they were kicking Black people's teeth in, spraying us with hoses. My grandparents, they went through it. I listen to my horror story, and it's still prevalent today. Just tell the kids, hey, I understand, and I support you, and I stand with you. Stop telling them, I don't see color. That stuff don't resonate with me. You got to stop saying that. It's a problem. It's an issue. We had a man shoot 3 people last night. Where AR? And he got to walk past the cop. The cop didn't tell him to get on the ground. They didn't tell him to do nothing. I challenge everyone. Start having uncomfortable conversations. You want to talk to me one-on-one, or we can have a round table. Me and Pep, me and Coach Watson, we would love to have a round table. But we just talk. We get televised. We don't even got to tell. We just have a conversation. Unfiltered. Just talk. It's so hard when you're being oppressed daily. But when y'all sit and be quiet and don't say nothing, it hurts. I have people that I have worked for, they haven't said nothing, but they bragging about all the other stuff they do. Y'all love our culture. Now this don't hurt. Y'all love our culture. You love using our slang. You love wearing the shoes and stuff we don't make cool. Yeah, man, I gotta get this. I gotta get this. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You love using that. But when it's time to defend our Black lives, you're quiet. I'm asking the American people to stand up, protect us, say something. Humanity. What telling me to comply, to follow directions? I don't see that. Then I'll get a darn knee on my neck. I deserve due process. I deserve the right to go through the judicial system. It has failed us. It is time for some changes.
Thank you, Coach. I'll say my bit after everyone else has gone. We're going to go to Josh Kroll now to get his thoughts on everything that's going on.
Thank you, Coach. Coach B, Coach Phillips, man. Thank you for that. First, I'm going to start off by saying the most obvious thing that we all could say. Justice for Breonna Taylor. just for Jacob Blake, and we talking about immediately. I always said, if I had an opportunity on a platform, after hearing other pundits in the past, presently, give their perspectives about what's going on right now and how they explain this, how they explain how our people feel, how they explain how somebody who doesn't look like you might feel, how we explain or how we retort what you are saying about how you feel about what we're saying. I always said if I had an opportunity and a platform where I could be able to finally say it the way it needs to be said, that I would give whatever I could to be able to give that opportunity. And what you just saw from my brother, Coach Phillips, was hurt. And what you get ready to hear from me is hurt. You see, there's a piece of America, there's a part of America that lacks common sense, that doesn't understand that a man has the ability to have an inference or an issue with another man. That's not the problem. But we have some singular issues here, some very serious issues here that we have never addressed. A man of one community, one race, one color, one job, deciding that he has the right or she has the right to tell another man that doesn't have that color, that is from that community or that job, that they got to do what you say they got to do. And if they don't do what you say they got to do, you got the right to take their life. Something that you never gave them. You have the right to walk in somebody's home and take their life. I'm going to give you guys some information that not a lot of people ever say. Black people don't want to kill police officers. Black people don't want to shoot police officers. We don't want to do anything to police officers. You don't have a reason in the world to be worried about a black person, woman, man, or child wanting to do something to a police officer. Because you know what we're taught in the home? We're taught to respect authority. Whether we come up in a home with morality, with all of these values, whether it's religious or not, don't no black person want to shoot a police officer. When you pull up to the car, pull up with respect, not only for yourself, but for respect for that person. It angers me because I have a son getting ready to have a daughter. And though I can feel like I'm shielded because I might be an entrepreneur or because I might have, you ain't never shielded. We have to do what is right immediately. You don't get another opportunity. I'm utterly disappointed in the Attorney General from Kentucky. Not because he's a Republican, but because he had time to go on TV and talk about somebody when you got a job to do. You think we got time to sit around and wait for you to go on and endorse anybody? It don't matter who it is. This ain't political. This is right and wrong. You have a job. Your job does not make you. It's your job. You do not have the right to take anybody's life. You do not have the right to take anybody's life. But furthermore, I'm disappointed from some people from other communities who utilize their voice to spew out just utter ignorance. Like you never read a book in your life. All of this, I don't see color one moment. Then the next moment, soon as somebody do or say something or is on the same side of something that you don't believe in, you want to step out and just put your whole foot in your mouth. Today, had the opportunity, Notre Dame came out football program and said Black Lives Matter. How do you not understand those three words put together? Whether you think it's a freaking Marxist organization or you think it's a domestic terror, we're talking about the phrase, not this organization that you think exists that is here to step on the backs of people that aren't Black. We're talking about the phrase, Black Lives Matter. Grow up. Read a book. Learn. Use your brain. God gave you one. How can you not understand the three words that are in the phrase Black Lives Matter and not understand that ain't nobody saying that your life don't matter or that person's career doesn't matter? What the freak is a blue? Nobody's blue. How do you not understand that? That's a job. This is a skin color. You're born with it. We're not asking for mercy from nobody. We asking for humanity. And if you wouldn't want somebody to do it to your child, expect that nobody wants it done to theirs. The time is up. I'm fed up. Been fed up. And the time is up. Everybody has a responsibility to do. And if you can't understand common sense, then don't put your fingers to no keypad. Don't open your mouth and say nothing ignorant. And do not step out here against something that just says Black Lives Matter. I'm done, Pep.
You guys see the passion that, we have about the subject here. Thank you, Coach. That was well said. Well said. I'm going to bring on our producer and photographer, Brandon Black, and I'll let him speak on the subject.
Well, I noticed just looking at different social media posts, different news outlets, comments, and things like that. I noticed there's a lot of closed-mindedness out there. And whether it's subconsciously or unintentional or intentional, I see a lot of people sort of they don't interpret well or agree with, understand viewpoints that are different than their own. And so I want to encourage open-mindedness. A lot of people shy away from subjects or have a negative tone towards issues and political stances regarding people that maybe a group that they don't belong to. So it's easy to point fingers and say, oh, this isn't happening. I don't see this. I don't believe in this if you don't belong to that particular group. So I really want to promote and encourage open-mindedness. Try to see the point of view of a group of people that you may not belong to. And, that may not always be easy to do, but I think where there's smoke, there's fire. And issues and incidents that have happened this week and, over the years, there's no coincidence there. When there's smoke, there's fire. There's something going on. None of this, people, sometimes act as if these things are just manifesting themselves or imaginary, but it's not. It's happening way too often. And obviously something needs to change. And to really think about it, we live in a world where everyone has a cell phone. Everyone has a smartphone. We're constantly connected to the internet. But think about this. This isn't something new. It's just newly being recorded. So this has happened for years and years and years. A lot of incidents happened way before everyone had a cell phone or a camera to which records something. So, it's one thing. You may not belong to a particular group, but there are people out here who have to live in fear and feel like their life is in line just from them getting pulled over or just from a routine traffic stop or a checkpoint. So it's easy to cast judgment when you don't have to worry about that. But try to be open-minded and understand where people are coming from that may not look like you or fit into a certain demographic. See where they're coming from. And I think that will help everyone in general, just to be open-minded and try to understand where others are coming from and, kind of put yourself in their shoes. And I think people will have a lot more empathy to the cause. I'm done, Pep.
Thank you, Brandon. There are some good points that you referenced in there that I even just wrote down that I want to bring up when I have a chance to speak. But I'm going to bring on Cherie Glenn, and I get her perspective on this.
So, first of all, I just want to, thank the men on my panel, as well as, all the Black men who, have to stand up and fight every single day just because of who they are. You guys are impeccable, and don't ever let anything or any situation tell y'all differently. My mom passed away 17 years ago, and so I've been kind of a stand-in mom to 4 brothers from the age of 27 to 37. And, I've worried about them pretty much every single day from that point that she passed on until now. And, just to see that we're still no closer to any sort of resolution, it just breaks my heart. And then, to hear all of these, different people, because I write for a publication that, we have obviously people of different races, but, some of them, are from Canada, so they have a different view. And, they're always talking about how the system is broken. I had a guy today who posted and said that, while this guy was able to walk away, pretty much arrested in peace, he paralyzed another guy from the waist down with, what he did. And I just, it's heartbreaking, as a woman, to know that our men go out here and fight so hard and work so hard every day. And, this is basically what happens. And it's not just the men, it's the women too. And so, I just encourage you guys to keep your head up and to stay strong, and to know that I love you if nobody else tells you.
It's beautifully said, Cherie. Thank you so much for that. There was a lot of different ways I was going to try to express how I feel about, everything going on. But in the interest of time, we've got Coach Thompson, backstage. So there's 2 things I want to say really quickly. The one uniform message that everyone was saying was, try to understand, our perspective, as Black people, as Black men, going through these struggles and going through this fight. One of the things I want to do is, we have a lot of people around here that cover sports, high school football, high school sports. And I don't see those platforms talking about this stuff. We are the only platform that's willing to go out there and spread a message. So I want to challenge all the other platforms that are fighting so hard, like Coach Phillips was saying, like Coach Kroll was saying. They're fighting so hard to get us on the field and playing football, playing sports. We're missing this, we're missing that. We hear all the fighting about that from multiple platforms, but they're silent when it comes to this cause and this message. So help us spread the message. Help us to help people understand how much pain we're in, how the struggle is every day, how hard it is to go out here and knowing that you have to do double the work as a Black man to get half the respect. That's the message that needs to be said. The other thing I want to say, and I said this to a couple other people just in private, I think as a race, we do a good job of coming together on things when this happens, but we don't stay together as a race when these things happen. That has been the problem. For so long, everyone gets up in an uproar about these things happening, and then it just all of a sudden just dissipates. Like Cherie said, the problems don't go away. Like Brandon said, they've been happening for years. There was a picture online, I was scrolling through Twitter, back from the 50s with a black lady holding up a sign that says, "Stop killing our people." And like Brandon said, the only difference now is we have cell phones to record it. It's been happening. It's been happening. But what's it going to take for us as a people to come together, stay together, make sure the message is heard, and then try to get people to understand it? I don't know. That's the problem. That is the problem for us. So those two things, if you don't take anything else away, the platforms, I want you to come united together. Come with us. I don't mind leading the charge. Like Coach Phillips said, we'll do a round table. And it doesn't have to be publicized. We did something before already with Coach Gray at Rocky River, and we had some people come on and talk about it. We'll do it. But we can't be the only ones. How are our kids going to learn when they don't have anyone to lead them? We're willing to set the bar. We're willing to set the bar here. All right. So that's all we're going to say about that. But we wanted to lead the show with it. It's very important, obviously, and there's a lot of emotion behind it, and for good reason. So I'm going to transition off of that, and I'm going to go into our first guest, who has done a great job leading the Olympic Trojans in his first season. They made the playoffs last year. Very good team out of the SOMEX 7. They got a lot of talent coming back this season. Granted, we're going to be playing in February, but I think most of that talent's going to be there. And we're going to bring him on the show with us. And that is head coach for the Olympic Trojans, Brandon Thompson.
Coach, how are you, man? Can you hear me? Oh, man, I can't hear you.
All right, you got me?
I got you now, Coach.
Okay. I don't know what happened there, but so first off, man, I do want to ask you, do you have any thoughts on, everything that's going on with the racial issues and social injustice?
Yeah, you know what? Before we get into it, man, before you went off, you said something I was thinking and I wanted to address when I came on. And I just want to say that for you all to use this platform to address some of the things that's going on in society that, a lot of times in media and in this industry that we work in, a lot of times isn't addressed, especially on a platform like this. I just want to say that you all, that's powerful and courageous, man. And, my hat's off to you all for that. I'm making an emphasis with my staff. We haven't really been around the kids since, a lot of major incidents have happened in the media in the past 6 months. And the thing that I expressed to the staff is we want the kids to be able to have a voice where they feel heard, where they feel it's okay to express themselves. And also we want to be able to put them in positions where we're able to maybe do exercises or, start a dialogue or bring in speakers or have examples of things that we went through as a staff. I have a diverse staff. I have a diverse team, and you can hit, to be able to have different perspectives. We want to be able to do all of those things. And I feel like that's the best way for us at Olympic football to be able to address some of those things. Ultimately, we just want our guys to treat people how you want to be treated. And I know that can sound cliche but I believe in that golden rule. And, I think if us as a society could do that and really just abide by that, man, the world would be much different. We wouldn't have these incidents that we have going on. So I don't know if I rambled a little bit, but that's kind of where we are over here at Olympic.
No, that's great, Coach. That's a great perspective, and it's good that you want to address it because like we said, there are some coaches that don't want to address it, and it's sad. It's sad. But moving on from that, of course we got the COVID-19 pandemic that has just wrecked our world, and the first thing I want to ask you is how have you been communicating with you guys, and have you been able to install your stuff, work out? How have you been able to coordinate all those things?
Well, I would say the biggest line of communication is the players talking to their position coach and having position meetings at least once a week throughout this entire time. And, the frustrating thing about it is, it's been several times that we think, okay, the Zoom stuff is about to stop. We're about to start back working out, getting back to football. And, several times, that didn't happen. So, we do those things to try to, stay, in contact with those guys and keep in touch with what they got going on. School just started last week, so now we'll be back on top of the grades and everything. And the good thing about it is my strength coach, Coach Hart, has a lot of those players in his gym class, right? So we're able to kind of work out with them a little bit on the Zoom and do what we can, doing some body weight stuff. But, it's nothing like being in front of them. It's nothing like, being able to go to meetings and get on the film with them. I know every coach in America is going through it. And, it's tough, and we just can't wait to get back in front of those guys. But right now, we're just trying to utilize every opportunity we can to have lines of communication where we can get better and help grow these guys, even in this pandemic.
Very good, Coach. Very good. That's good to hear, man. And like you said, everyone's in the same boat. So, at least in CMS, some other counties have been able to do a little more, but, it is what it is.
Right.
I want to ask you, last year was your first season as head coach. Being in that head coach role, I know you were previously, the JV head coach. What were the biggest differences in that transition from JV head coach to varsity head coach? And were there some things you learned and, you plan to do differently, in year two?
Well, yeah, in year two, you definitely want to get better than you were year one. We want to solidify ourselves and turn the corner as a program. The biggest difference is nothing can prepare you for being a head coach other than being a head coach. And I stand by that. But I would say some of the biggest differences are, when you're the JV head coach, you're kind of just doing the academics and football practice with the JV guys, where and eligibility. Where as a varsity coach, it's fundraising, it's community support, it's marketing. You're structuring the entire program. When you're a football coach, and it's like you're running a small business. Is what I tell people. And being a JV coach or an assistant coach or a coordinator, those roles are very important. But to have the vision and create the structure for the entire program, it's a much different role than being a JV head coach or being a coordinator or anything. And that's a lot of differences. That's just a few, I guess.
Absolutely. So there's some things as a head coach that, you just, sometimes you don't want to do. I'll tell you, when I, get out of coaching, I don't miss the parents.
You said it, I didn't, man. You said it, I didn't.
Well, I'm reading between the lines there. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. So we got Coach Brandon Phillips that wants to ask you a question, Coach.
Yes. Yeah.
What's up? What's up, Coach?
What's up, Coach?
How you doing, my guy?
Good to see you.
Always good to see. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. One of my favorites. One thing I don't think a lot of people give you your flowers about, you and your AD, is the rebranding of Olympic football. The whole rebranding of your social media. Y'all have y'all up there with Vance. Last got the big head now. He probably over there smiling. I said that. Y'all up there with Vance with graphics. I want to ask you, how did you go about making that plan? Because y'all went from not being so big into the social media into now y'all one of the biggest contributors in social media. Like, y'all got different graphics for everything. Every time I see something, like today, they announced, had a little graphic for you coming on the show. I was like, these guys are everywhere.
Right. No, man. So, I mean, I really, Miss Wilkerson, Stephanie Wilkerson, our athletic director, she came in before I was a head coach. She hired me and just kind of, I think we have very similar visions. We feel like we're in the best community in Charlotte. We feel like Olympic is a top tier program. When it was a diamond in the rough, or just a potential school to a lot of people. Now we had to go to work. It's countless hours. You can see I'm in the office right now. Just left a fundraising meeting with someone about 30 minutes ago. So it's just tirelessly we've just put a focus on trying to make Olympic a top tier program in the state of North Carolina. So there has to be, from not only on the athletics, on the actual competition, but how we presented, the professionalism, how we how we're branded in the community and our impact in the community. Are we doing our part? Are we giving back? We wanted to be a program that's not going to just take. We wanted to also be able to give. So, I mean, it's a lot that goes into it, but it's just a lot of hard work and just being on the same page. When you and your boss on the same page and you got the same vision, man, that's a powerful thing. I think that's what the top programs have. Social media and graphics and stuff. I have a great graphic design person, Trip Mizuko. He's also my offensive line coach and run game coordinator, and he does the graphics. Does a great job with that. And the visual art stuff, but it's really just a standard. We weren't trying to be everything we do, we wanted to be the best. So if we're going to do social media, it's got to be the best. If we're going to play, we want to play, we want to be the best. So that's just kind of how it falls in this program. So, but I appreciate it. I guess now we gotta move past Vance and Lash and Ferb over there now. I can't have Ferb beating me.
I like that, Coach. I mean, that's a great standard, man, and that's something I think I saw was an A standard as
Yes,
being.
sir.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome, man. We got our resident coach, Coach Kenny Mclamrock, that wants to ask you a question as well, Coach.
Coach, what's up, man? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you. How are you, Coach?
What's up, brother? I'm well. I hope you are. So a lot of the stuff, man, that they've already asked you about, I was going to go at number one, man. Congrats on a great first season, and you hit on so many things. I mean, the branding of your program, but you also hit on all the roles of the head coach that nobody knows about, man. It's a whole lot more than are you going to send pressure on third down or not? It's the fundraising, it's the community, it's the boosters, it's the teachers, it's the admin. And I know that as a first-year head coach, I learned so much about myself and who I was. So, Coach, man, over the last year or so since you're a coach, what have you learned about yourself as a man?
Well, I'll say this. I was told a long time when I first got into this thing that if you're getting into coaching for Friday, Saturday, game day or anything like that, then it's not the business for you. That's about 3 months long. All right, so football, that's the smallest part about being a football coach. All right, that's the least time consuming. What I've learned about myself as a man, just nobody's ever truly ready, to step in a role like this, especially at a school this size. But just perseverance, the hard work, dedication, being someone that can provide guidance for my players. Those young men, it's important to me to hold myself at an even higher standard. So we talked about it before, about a standard. I hold myself personally to a standard that nobody else in this program can hold me to. And that's because I want to do the best job that I can to prepare these young men for life after high school and not be a negative influence in their life, but a positive, and where one day maybe they'll say that they couldn't be who they are without coming through my program. So just the standard I hold myself to is higher than I held it to already, Coach, if that answered your question.
Very good, man. Very good. There's a lot of good stuff in there, Coach. I'll go ahead and tell you, I picked you guys to win the conference this year. I think you guys have a lot of talent coming back on the team this year. Two questions. One, do you feel like you're gonna have any seniors that leave early because of football in February? And then two, talk about some of those guys that you expect to be big players for you this upcoming season.
Oh man, Coach, that's tough. One, I think we'll be fine. I got a lot of really hungry, underrated guys in my program right now that, you know, in February is when they're going to get their shot and they're going to get their offers and opportunity to go play some college football. You know, right now I have one guy committed, Cam Smith, conference player of the year, offense conference player of the year last year. He's going to Navy, but he will be playing in February. But a lot of guys that are going to be names that you're going to call and hear about and interview a lot. Of course, we got Sean Bowles coming back. We got Cujo Apaya coming from West Charlotte, KJ Hickland, Sterling Chavis, Kai Russell. I think he's been on your show before. Albert Fleming, Cameron Kennedy, Jacob Ortiz, Dylon Smoot from Mallard Creek. You know, I think I got the two most underrated quarterbacks in Charlotte. I said it with Zion Kilborn and Sean Bowles. And, you know, I mean, we just got a lot of guys that, you know, maybe haven't been on your radar yet, but they will, man. I mean, I could go on and on, man. DJ Bradford, Jadavian Powell, Nashawn Pritchett. I mean, it's just a ton of guys that we feel good about, man.
You know, you're right, Coach. And, you know, you mentioned Kai Russell being one of the interviews. I think I interviewed like 5 of your guys when we started doing the interviews, and it just kind of worked out that way. But, you know, the one common theme with all your kids is they're very respectful. They carry themselves well. They're good off the field and on the field. And that's a reflection of your leadership and your program. So, Coach, man, you're doing a great job. And, you know, a lot of people don't know that Olympic is a sleeping giant. And, you know, you got a great area to pull from. You got great support over there with Stephanie as your AD and, you know, all the administration and everything. So, man, you guys are on the rise. And, you know, I every time I come over there, it's always a good time. You guys are always respectful and, you know, you open up and let us do whatever we want. So, you know, you on the top of my list.
That's a good list to be on. So I appreciate it, Coach, man. You know, you're welcome to come by anytime. And I love the fact that you're exposing those guys, man. They work really hard. They work
Absolutely.
Really hard.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you know what you need to do.
What's that? Uh-oh. Did we lose Coach? Uh-oh. I think we might have lost Coach. That was going to be the best part. Hold on. Coach, what'd you say, Coach? Hold on.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you now.
I said, man, I heard you the offensive line guy, man. You got to come check out some of my offensive linemen now. I got young emerging guys that, you know, I think you're gonna like, man. Jeremiah Burst, Cleon Payne, Dario dudes now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll follow up with you after this.
I was talking your language now.
Absolutely. We gotta take care of the big boys because no one else does, man. Everybody wants to feature the pretty boys, but nah, we get in the mud and we get nasty, and
right.
Yeah, we feature them. So yeah, I'll follow up with you on that, Coach. Man, appreciate you coming on tonight, man. Thank you so much.
Man, thank you for having me. I'd love to come back again.
Absolutely, sure will, man. Thanks a lot.
Have a good night.
All right, you too, Coach. All right, so that was Olympic Trojan head coach Brandon Thompson, and you will see some offensive lineman featured from them. So let's see what we got. We got a couple comments right here. Just got DJ McFadden, who was on last week in our assistant coach spotlight. Love what those guys do at the O. Shout out my guy, Coach Hart. Yeah, Coach Hart's a cool dude, man. He knows his defense. he definitely knows his defense. Big shout out to him. I love seeing what he posts and everything. All right, so we're going to jump into the rundown, which is what we normally lead the show with. So we're going to bring back the panel, and we got a few things that we need to discuss here.
Hey, before you get started, Coach Hart was my DB coach my freshman year at West Charlotte.
Really?
Yeah, with Coach Knotts. That's why I love running into him, because we always start laughing. Say, hey, man, you remember you used to yell at me and call me names and stuff? He's a good guy. I love Coach Hart. Coach Hart, a good guy.
Yeah, we had to get him on the assistant coach spotlight. You
get him on here. You don't have to get him 2 hours because he don't talk. He's going to talk.
Man, no defense, boy.
Yeah, he don't bring the old projector. Get them all the vis-a-vis and be up here going in, boy.
With the little rolling, what is the thing used to roll?
Yeah, you got to roll it, baby. Man. Draw them lines up, baby. Yeah, he know he's knowledgeable. I love him. Before we play, he sat there. We were reminiscing before we played Olympic last year when I was at Providence.
Wow,
it's good.
All right, so let's start the rundown. So this one actually came from Coach Mclamrock. So I'm going to let him lead on this first. But the NCAA is allowing an extra year of eligibility. And we want to talk about the trickle-down effects that might have on high school football. So, Coach, you got the lead on this.
For a couple of weeks, we've been talking about what are mid-year guys, how are they going to affect high school football in North Carolina? And what we found out on Friday is that effect, last week I said, wasn't going to be that great because there were so few mid-year guys across the state as a whole. But with Friday's announcement by the NCAA that all fall sport athletes will be granted another year of academic and athletic eligibility, I think what we're about to see is a lot of guys who were planning on being mid-year guys last week now will no longer be mid-year guys. And what we're going to see happening is a lot of guys are going to have their feelings hurt, if I'm being honest with you. And those guys are going to be on the high school field come February here in North Carolina.
Very good, Coach. Very good. You guys got some thoughts on that?
I don't think too many don't back out. I think
I do. I think a few kids will. You know why I think so? I think there are some kids who probably committed to some schools, obviously out of safety, and they're going to try to hedge or bet against, will they be able to get the offer from the school they really were looking for an offer from, or maybe the caliber of a program that they might have been looking for before. And we may see a lot of deep commits. I mean, I don't think the kids that, if you're going to Carolina or you're going to South Carolina, I don't think those kids are going to decommit. I don't think those kids are going to kind of change. But those kids that might go group of 5, may go FCS, that have already committed, those are the kids I'm looking at that might say, you know what, shoot, they going to give me an extra year. I might well take it. See what else I can bring to the table. I might get me a Power 5, or I might get me the right HBCU offer. But
there you go.
I think you're gonna get some kids. I think you're gonna get some kids that are going to, because they might think, this is just an opportunity for them to possibly push themselves ahead in their recruiting process, or get some looks or get some interest from some programs that they probably didn't have a chance to get some from prior to. So I think it's gonna be a good balance. It's gonna be, your big time kids, them kids ain't them. They gonna, they are.
So I'm saying kids that were planning on leaving, the colleges aren't going to let them come now, because you got to remember they got to have a scholarship spot in January for a high school kid to enroll. And with these guys now in college staying an extra year, the colleges aren't being granted, as far as I know, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, they're not granting extra scholarships for their football program. So guys who are planning to enroll early, college coaches are going to be calling them up this week. It's already starting to happen. Trust me. They're going to be calling them up next week. They're going to be calling up the coming weeks and say, you know what? Why don't you just go ahead and play your senior season to your high school, because they don't have the spots for them on their college athletic team.
Well, the word that's coming down is that they are going to raise the scholarship limit. That what we're starting to hear is that the NCAA is going to allow for the scholarship limit to be raised. Now, how that affects what you're saying, Coach, how that affects the FCS program, where you might be able to raise, like the NCAA says you can raise another 10, and you really only got the budget to really raise another 5. Shoot, I'm having to make that call to that 2021 kid or that 2020 kid, that 2021 quarterback. Like, hey man, I got another year with this kid that we've already been developing. Sit tight, go play your senior year. Don't show up on this campus. Don't come around here. We'll see you later on. Go take care of what you need to take care of. We'll see you later on. I'm worried about the trickle down effect that it has as far as inside the classroom, because some kids may have already set how they've been doing their classes for them to go ahead and graduate early. So now, do the schools have the capacity? Because now you got some teachers that's leaving school systems. That's on the low. I'm keeping that. That's inside conversation I've been hearing. That you might have some teachers that might be leaving, and a kid might not be able to take them another PE class or something just to be able to stay a full-time student. Mm-hmm. So how is that going to affect their academics?
So I agree with what Crowell said. I think the big name guys who are going to Carolina and stuff, all the big name Carolina recruits in the state of North Carolina, they're going to leave early. We already saw my guy from Mount Out. He's one of Gabe. He's staying to play his senior year because he know it's a lot of talent in that secondary. He know he could go ahead and play his senior year and come in the fall and he'll still be good. And they probably say, hey, you don't be redshirted anyway, just go. You're not going to see some of these other guys. Now, I agree with Crowell. I think the guys who are going little D1, like the Middle Tennessee States and stuff like that, I think they're like, opportunity has arrived. And we already saw that. Me and Crowell were talking about it. It's a player at Mallard Creek. He committed, and then he got an offer for somewhere else. And I said it. I said, hey, I'm not gonna be shocked if this kid flipped from this school to that school. I think them two count, Metcalf and I forgot the athlete. I forgot his name. The other one, he played receiver, quarterback, and all that. I think they might flip and go to like a Coastal or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised. They're talented. They're talented. So I think open up the floodgates for that. But Power and all them, Pryor, they gone. If Shipley wants to leave, but he's in a good situation with Clemson. Do they really need him to come in? I think they're gonna have that conversation, but they already don't have that conversation. All the kids who had already said, hey, we're leaving early, they're probably gonna go ahead and leave early. Because like Crowell said, it's no secret. My athletic director, he teaching 4 blocks. You don't have a plan because of the teacher shortage. It's a shortage. So now you don't say they already got it and they can graduate early. And they said, hey, well, you don't need to come to play your senior year. They don't have to get creative because they don't met their requirements for North Carolina to graduate early. So I don't think we just don't let them sit in a school and so the slots are probably gonna open up and they don't have to be creative. You already don't told these kids they're coming, but like Mercer's and all them, the little school, Georgia Southern and stuff like that. I think you might want to just go ahead and play your senior year. You're good. You know what I'm saying? That's my perspective.
All right, so we got a couple comments here. Our buddy Mizzle right here. But knowing that they will be behind that guy that has another year might make them stay and play in February.
Yeah, and that's what we saying, Mizzle.
We're not disagreeing with that.
Yeah, if you're going to school, you're going to redshirt. If you going to school and there's a chance you redshirt, I can guarantee you, Matt Brown is going to call you and say,
yeah, they already. I'm pretty sure they already had them conversations. Like,
ain't no point of you coming down here. I ain't got no room for you right now because we got.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's not going to be up to the kids. It's going to be the college football coach. It's going to be Matt Brown. It's going to be.
And that's what we're all saying.
And you know what? Hey, 2021 early enrolled guy who we know that's what you've said since you were a sophomore, and we know that's what we told you. You go ahead and stay in your college because we don't have the room for you. And I got my dudes another year. And I'm going to take that 23-year-old who's been with me for 5 years now, 6 years, over that 17-and-a-half-year-old that didn't play a year of high school football.
And that makes sense. I think we all agree on that. But what I'm saying is they already had these conversations, like you see it. And I'm not going to start naming kids who are going early and the ones who are staying because that's disrespectful. And that's saying that, hey, they're not on that same talent. But you see the kids who say, I'm just going to go ahead and play my senior. They're not saying nothing, but the kids who have the opportunity to go play, they already don't say, hey, I'm gone. Because they probably don't code them. I'm pretty sure the head coach don't call them and say, yeah, you're good. Let's go. Like prior, I'm pretty sure Ohio State said, yeah, get your butt down here. We can use you. Like Julian Gray, I'm pretty sure State want him there because they need some speed on the outside. They want him to push somebody. And then they don't have to make that business decision. But like the ACC playing right now, even though they don't get, all we don't go ahead and redshirt him. But he got an extra year of training with us. That's some of the decisions that's going to be made. But I agree, if they feel like, hey, I don't want to put that investment in, especially if we're not playing right now. I'm just going to tell you, go ahead, come in next fall when everybody else come in the fall. So, yeah, I think we're all in agreement with that. But even if they come and they redshirt them and they got the slots, that's all. If they have them slots, I think I read too, they don't let them have them slots, then they'll be good because if you make that ruling, you don't have to increase them slots because they already made a plan and you can't renege on a plan. Dang, I'm talking like we're playing during spades out here, but you can't renege. You can't.
If I'm a kid right now, I mean, obviously everybody not Powell Echols, everybody's not Evan Pryor, right? Here's probably the most interesting part of this whole conversation, right? Right now, Power 5 is kind of split right down the middle. You got Big 12, you got Big 10, Pac 12. They like, yo, we're going to play in the spring. You got ACC, SEC, Big 12. We're going to play right now. If I'm a kid like Evan Pryor's decision is even more difficult and different than Will Shipley's decision. And same caliber programs. Ohio State, Clemson, same caliber program. But I got to make a different decision if I'm Evan Pryor, though we know he's probably gone. Yeah. I got to make a different decision because we not playing to the spring. Will Shipley and Powell Evans, y'all still playing in the fall. Like, y'all playing. Y'all getting ready to play.
Yeah.
I
just don't. Yeah. I just don't. Right, I get ready about saying, but you just can't renege.
All right. Hold on, guys. Hold on. We got a couple comments we want to get to here. All right. So, Olympic quarterback Sean Bowles. We just had his head coach on. So do high school players get an extra year of eligibility?
Nope. That's what I'm saying. Like, even though they do it, you still, them kids who are coming early, they still don't, like, let's say they go through the whole spring and they get redshirted. That's just how some stuff happens. Like, we see all the time.
Yeah.
So then we got another one here from
I do see some potential guys who are maybe FCS caliber guys who think that they might be G5 guys who might in January decide, you know what, I'm gonna go to Gyra Prep. I'm gonna go a prep school route, reclass, and get another year of eligibility to increase my stock. I could see that happening with a select group of guys, especially your quarterbacks, because we all know.
Yeah, we always talk about quarterbacks. We said that when it started. So I agree with you on that, Ken.
I don't see the NCHSAA. They're not going to bug the 8-semester rule. No. And I don't see a mass exodus at this point now of kids leaving and going to a private school or some other route. The only option they have for those kind of guys that are tweeners is to go prep route. And I do see some guys leaving and going the prep school route in January.
Yeah, I agree. Because if you, like you said before, when you graduate, you don't want to go back to high school. If you don't get all your stuff now to graduate early December, you're not going to be like, well, I'll just go to school and just have PE.
And that's what Bobby's saying right here.
But
you don't have to take 3 classes. You still don't have to make sure you have the hours.
You don't need 3 classes. So like those dudes who are set to graduate in December, really, because they're going to take their exams before Christmas break. Those dudes can come back and they can take a second and a third period. They can have a late arrival where they're sleeping in. They can have an early dismissal. They can take another weight training class. They can take the PE office assistant class. They can be the athletic director's personal dude that does all of his work for him and whatever that looks like. I mean, there are classes they can set these guys up with And I think that guys are contrary to this. I think guys are going to want to go back and play with their guys, play with their dudes. They've been playing with them for years. Like I don't see a high school 17-year-old. They're not Christian McCaffrey sitting out the bowl game. Like they're going to go back and play with their dudes because it's still their dudes. Like, these are the dudes they've been playing Pop Warner League football with.
As to Bobby's comment though, I think Bobby's comment, and I don't know, Pep, can you pull Bobby's first comment back up? I think that what we're talking about here, Bobby, is not if the kid has an opportunity and he has a scholarship, will he have the decision on whether he can go back or not? I think what we're talking about here is, does he even have the option? Like, are the coaches basically saying to him on the next level, son, you're not coming here. Like, I got this kid who now gets another opportunity. Coach Rankin.
That's right. All right.
To play his senior year. I'm not sure if I want you to come in, take his scholarship money when we got another opportunity to go win whatever the national championship situation is going to be. We got a chance to go win a conference championship or something with this kid. Son, I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to tell you, I'm not even asking you. I'm going to tell you and your parents, stay home. Come back and see.
But I think we already don't have. But I think they already done that. I think they did that before everything started happening. Now
they had to wait till the vote. They had to wait till they voted on Friday. So they're only 3 days into it.
I think some of them did, but not all of them. Though, Bill.
Yeah, I think.
But they have to be careful too, because you got to remember now a kid is committed to you, and you told him, hey, you're being here in January, and now you're saying stay home. That's gonna. I mean, that's her kids. That's gonna piss off.
But I think
elsewhere.
I think they only told the top guys, their top guys, the ones they really wanted in there. I think they are like Miami. We get all these big time. Like we told Leonard Tate, oh, you come to school in January. I don't care. We got another year. You power. No, you don't got to play for that. You come on down. They call Will. That's depends on you because he's in a different situation. Clemson Will could sit out. Not saying he's a top tier guy, but they got other backs they go ahead and put in there. Like Pride, like they're telling him to come because they probably don't. We want to move you around, running back slot, different things like that. I don't know. I'm not in that, but I'm just thinking as a coach. But I think the top guys they already told that to.
You're on it. It depends on what the position looks like at the college level.
Right.
Yeah. Position need is not. You could be the best player in the nation, but if you got an All-American returning, because he got hurt, and he wants to go. There you go. And they might say that high school, and to get back to the question, a college coach is going to highly encourage these kids to stick around and play his senior year. Like a kid who just said, I'm not going to go to school. I'm not going to play my senior year because I got shafted out of enrolling early. Like that shows a lot of lack of competition and some other things on the kid's part. Like I think the college coach would have some serious reservations about that.
Yeah, so I want to ask this question. So we talked about them getting extra slots. Two things: when are these extra slots kicking in, and how many are they getting?
I haven't heard exactly amount, but I know the conversations are going on. I'll post it on Twitter. I know the conversations are going on.
Yeah,
them raising the scholarship limit for kids.
Yeah, I saw that too. I didn't know there were any.
I think it's gonna be like he said. I think it's gonna be 10. Or more, something right? Like no more than like 2. I think it's gonna be 10. They might double what you
at the FBS level.
Yeah, I think 10 because they don't have to help support them financially because if you're allowing that, you don't have to. That's what I'm saying, or maybe 5 to 10. That's why I think because they already have started saying, "Hey, you young man, we want you to go ahead. We want you to come in early." But that's what I think. Yeah, but I think all the guys who are graduating early, right? I think they already had a conversation with them coaches, and they're good. We haven't seen a lot. Drake have not said nothing. Drake May hasn't said nothing yet. He said he's thinking because they have that. He's probably waiting. He's probably waiting, and and he's a top tier quarterback. But they got a sophomore there, and So
I think the other thing to this equation is we talked about some conferences are playing in the fall, hopefully.
Yeah.
Some conferences have already moved an 8-game schedule or 6-game schedule in the spring. I think that's going to be taken into consideration as well. because now you're talking about schools that are going to be playing in the springtime.
Yeah.
And then they're going to be turned around playing in the fall time, 13 games.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But I think that's when you'll see the
Your recruiting window change. Your recruiting window change.
Yeah.
How are you going to recruit? Totally change.
What's going to happen? What's going to happen with early National Signing Day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of moving parts. But as the NCAA comes out with this stuff, it's kind of like what we've been frustrated about in the North Carolina. Like they come out with something, but you really don't know what the next step is because they're still trying to figure that out.
And they need to give the kids content. They need to give the kid. They need to give everybody content. What if the kid decide to sit out this season? But to answer that question, you talking about the college. He's speaking of the college kids, right?
Yeah.
Most of the college kids who are sitting out this year are the ones who are like, I'm gonna sit out because I'm gonna prepare for the NFL draft and stuff. You don't see the high level guy. Now, let's say we say this guy who's an in-betweener, he said, I'm sitting out, but then next year he come back and play. He can do that. But most of the people who are sitting out are guys who are like, well, I'm not gonna risk playing my last year of college. I'm gonna just prepare for the NFL draft because I'm not gonna risk.
Big name guy. And we basically essentially saying the same thing on both levels. The big name recruits and the big name guys as far as for evaluation at the NFL level, they're gone.
Yeah. My defense end at Miami, he's gone. He gone. He broke my heart. He broke my heart.
Right? I mean, Alabama and LSU's gonna have all their dudes get drafted. Like they know they're gonna have spots, but Wake Forest has the defensive end that's pretty stinking good. I mean, and then
the receiver left. The receiver left.
Yeah.
He's sitting there.
But it's strange that I can see like when Coach Clawson at Wake Forest came out months ago and said any guy that doesn't feel comfortable, I'm good with him sitting out, and we're still gonna pay a scholarship. We're still gonna look out for him. But now you're talking about dudes that are gonna play and still get that extra year of eligibility.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about potentially 6 seasons they're having to play 5.
Yeah.
What a time to be a college football player, boy.
What? No test scores? What you talking about?
What a time.
Yeah, we know he'll be ready.
I'm counting on Quentin. I'm the biggest Quentin Williams fan. Ever since he left Mount Creek, he came to the U, baby.
Is he leaving?
He already there.
I didn't know.
And you need to follow Miami. That's what's wrong with you. That's what's wrong. But since Greg left, our freak DN, he's not playing this year. They're saying projecting him to be the starting DN right there. So it's all about how things fall in place. Like even the Surratt thing. That Surratt was big to me.
Both of the Surratt brothers was a big situation. One brother decided to leave, the other like, I'm gonna stay.
But the other one, the linebacker, needs the extra year of film at linebacker. He had played linebacker for 2 years. He had a 2-year film, and he would have been gone because he's in a
first or second day draft pick.
Yeah, the receiver, first day he's gone.
That kid is he's a second day draft pick right now.
But the linebacker, he needs one more year, and he don't have a good year, and he's gonna be in that first and second day talk just like his brother. His brother is a first day. It's not even a second day. First day, he's one of the top receivers in the draft. So
my only thing about the receiver brother, the brother that's the receiver, my only issue with that is this is a loaded year receiver wise. You got the kid from Florida State. I'm talking about just inside the conference. You got Florida State. You got the kid from Miami. You got the kid from Clemson. That's going to obviously.
You got 2 of them.
You got 2 of them from Miami. One is going to Clemson. One's going to have to.
One's not playing. One's not playing.
He hurt.
Yeah, but he's still hot.
Only receiver draft this year. So I like Surratt. No, he's a dog. But like I don't know. If I'm his mama and daddy right now, and I know the Clemson kid is sitting out because he hurt, I'm like, listen, son, hey, go dominate the conference one more year.
But it's just like the LSU on cornerback. He's set up. He's not playing. He said, I'm going for the draft. Not the one who played opposite Stingray Jr.
Yeah.
I would have played because I'm not getting more. I'm going to get all the targets because nobody's throwing to Stingray Jr. side. my stocks don't go. Even though he had a great year last year, but your stocks, you might be a top 10 pick now. You know.
I mean,
I think Surratt, Surratt.
You're a DB in the SEC. You got a chance to go top 10, top 15.
Especially you play next to Stingray.
They gas that SEC like petrol. They gas them up.
But
right, so this was a really, really good topic. We'll just let it go because it was great discussion. I do want to hit on this one. We had 3 other ones, but we only gonna have time for one more. So
I'll ask questions like this then. Because we don't jump around like we just did. With the NCAA.
The comments were great. That was good. So I want to ask y'all about high school player rankings. I've seen some different player rankings coming out, and I want to ask you guys' opinion. Number one, are they credible? And then number two, what is the criteria based on? Because, I mean, I've done them here and there, but, I mean.
Hey, hold on. I'll go ahead. Let me start out. I don't go ahead and tell you the criteria. Whoever doing the third ranking, whatever they think it is, there's no criteria. You be like, okay, I got 4-star, I got 5. It's all about where that recruiter sees you on that recruiting board. That's what the ranking is. And that's the only thing that really matters, where they view you in the program. Now, Coach Mclamrock would tell you, and he has said this numerous times, if Duke offered this kid that nobody never heard of, Wake Forest, Clemson, Carolina, we got to offer this kid we never heard. It happened with, prominent Julian Gray. He got offered by Duke, then Carolina brought him into the camp, and then he got offered by State. He just started racking them up because he came in there and ran that fast 40 time at that camp, and we could use him. And State, Dorn, he got, hey, you look good in that red, boy. And that's just how it goes. Like sometimes they see you perform at these camps. These camps are important. The team camps. Coach McLaren had told you, go to the team camps. You perform them. You go for like there's a no star. Everybody sleeping on you. NBA young boy. I don't never want to be broke again. Hungry. I'm a wolf. I'm a dog. I'm all this and all this. To hey, you got 3 stars. It just happens out of nowhere. And then also, hold on, one more point. If you're a big offensive lineman and you're 6'5", 350, I'm telling you right now, you're a 4-star.
At the same token, if you go to these team camps and you perform terribly, you're going to have a whole 365 days before anybody going to talk to you.
Clear.
I've built relationships with coaches on the next level, and I've had the chance to go get drinks with them, eat food with them, and one of the top things we end up talking about is, we heard this kid was the guy, and we brought him down here to our camp, and he got down to our camp, and he wasn't really the guy. And so, you got to be very, very strategic. This is now, recruiting. I mean, recruiting always has been strategic, but now it's extremely strategic. You playing chess, and you got to know how to play this game the right way. For those kids who are, and I'm not going to say nothing about the rankings because it's a kid at number 14 on the rankings that I'm related to, number 14, and they got him as a safety. He's not going to play safety. I'm going to say my younger cousin, I've known him his whole life. He's my younger cousin, first younger cousin. I can't comment on rankings. What I will say is for you kids who are not on the rankings and you feel like you're being slept on, what Coach Phillips just told you, you need to take that hook, line, and sinker. Be ready when you go, and when you go down there, do your thing. Because if you go down there and you say you're being slept on, and you go down there and you wet the bed, don't come back to Charlotte talking about people still sleeping on me. Don't you come back to Charlotte saying that. You better get ready to put the film together. Don't do that.
And take advantage of the rep. Go get reps. Don't be sitting back there talking, yeah, man, you like my sleeve, baby. I got the lime on this. Boy, you better get out there and perform. Get them to They do it all the time. You go to I went that way before they be out there.
I'm going to tell you 2 behind the scenes secrets of these rankings. Rankings number 1. Remember, these Rivals and 24/7, they want access to programs, college coaches, so they can write their stories for their paid content. The more college coaches, the more content they sell, the more money they make. Now, there are a lot of college coaches, head coaches, who have in their contract paid incentives for the number of 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars, 2 stars that they bring in. So in other words, you scratch my back, you make this dude that is committed to us, you make him a 3-star, 4-star, and then I'm going to give you more access to my program. Here's another one that a lot of people don't realize. A lot of these games you see, the national televised games, the Army game, the Ravels, all that kind of stuff, those are based on shoe deals. Kids who go to Under Armour schools.
Yep, R&R. There you go. Come. Let's go, Ken. He got his red shirt on, his serious shirt. He got his serious shirt on today.
He getting in the zone. You might need to do
my birthday shirt.
He got his birthday shirt on. He said, "Oh, I'm serious today." He said, "I'm about to drop a gem."
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. You know, I want to say something about high school player rankings, just like, you know, trying to rank, you know, different classes and stuff. Like I saw some class of 2023 rankings, 2024 rankings. I'm like, you know, you will never see me do that.
It's all about measurables. They're going off measurables. They're going off measurables.
2024 ranking. Now, hey, I'm gonna say something real quick too, because we didn't get a chance to talk like this, and I didn't get a chance to really ask Coach. I see a comment too, Coach. Coach Rankin. He said, "Just wait till y'all get a load of Trent at Clemson." And I didn't want us to finish this segment until I had a chance to just put. Can you please put that up? I am looking forward to seeing that kid at Clemson. Man, I can't wait to see that kid at Clemson. I don't know what they're going to do, but I'm pretty sure Coach Venables, who is the defense coordinator, and I think he also coaches linebackers as well, is going to find a way to put a kid like that somewhere on the field. He got to. So I'm glad.
Don't play. He don't play like he probably don't be in that Isaiah Simmons role. He probably don't play around, bouncing around stuff, or he play like or he'd be like Tanner Muse, like have Venables use Tanner Muse, but me as a Miami fan, I don't want to see what they do with him because he's a monster. I was mad when Shipley went to Clemson, but I really, as a Charlotte person, somebody who really respect Trent because you know his dad's a military man down there at 82nd Airborne and stuff like that. I'm a fan of him. He's a very he would terrorize me my first 2 years at Hopewell. I was like, who is this kid? And now look at him. So he's a gem. And you saw he made all academic his first semester there. That's impressive. So
there it is, right? There it is.
I know. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He don't be everywhere. Right. That's one Rank's boy. Rank's gonna Rank. Hey, shout out to Rank. Rank one of the most unappreciated linebacker coaches in the city. That boy.
Now we got to get him on the show.
Hey, Rank don't put some people on, boy. You know, he's in that him and McFadden, boy. They're independence players. Lord Jesus.
All right, so we are waiting on our assistant coach spotlight, LJ Johnson, who is he told me he's literally running in the house. So before we bring him on and he gets set up, I do want to take a couple minutes to talk about the Under the Lights camp, which is the camp that we are hosting as Charlotte Football Insiders. And it's going to be on Friday, September 11th, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. roughly, over at Mountain Island Charter School. We've had a ton of interest. We've had over 130 kids sign up. We still do have some spots left, but some positions are getting real tight. And the big purpose of it is, obviously with, COVID-19, and this is an unprecedented time right now. So we're trying to, fill a gap here. We see South Carolina is really getting ready to start football season up. We see some of the private schools here in the area getting ready to start up. But, our public schools here in North Carolina obviously are not playing. So, we're just trying to offer another option to, keep kids active and keep them, inspired and keep them, into, playing the game. We wanted to do it on a Friday night because, that's when we normally would be playing. So, partnered with Robert Washington, head coach at Mountain Island Charter. He was gracious enough to give us his facility. And I think we've got a combination of great experiences that we've seen at other camps like VTO. We've seen at Carolina Experience. We've seen at Elite. I think all three of those camps do some things well. And we're trying to bring those things together into one nice camp. And thank you, Miss Bowden, for that nice comment. When we talked about it, and to be honest, it just kind of came. Thank Coach Powell, my former defense coordinator at Hardin, chiming in right there. I got to get you on the list now. Thank you for saying that. But we were just, me and Robert were just talking like we normally do. And, I've seen some camps, not only here in North Carolina, but South Carolina. And I said, why don't we do a camp at night? Everyone's doing the camps at like Saturday afternoon, Saturday morning. And, he was like, well, hey, we can put it together. And, one thing led to another. And thank you, Mr. Stubbs. Appreciate that. We appreciate, Riley being a part of that as well. And that's the cool thing about this camp. And that's we have a special teams element that, a lot of people don't have at camp. So we've got kickers, we've got punters, we got long snappers. They're going to be on their own field with 2 or 3 special teams coaches that really just coach special teams. And they're going to get 2.5 hours of great focused instruction that, you don't see that anywhere else. So, we're trying to provide a unique experience, for all the kids, not just, the normal, players. Because special teams is an important part of the game as well. So, hopefully, if we get into phase 3, hopefully we can let, a lot of people in and check it out. But, in phase 2, we're not opening it up to everyone. You got to be a guest of a player to get in. So everyone will check in at the appropriate place. The player will come in. He'll get his picture taken. We'll do a brief interview with him. Every player will get interviewed, and that'll be featured on their media profile, which is something that we're offering as a camp that, I feel like a lot of people don't offer that, and that's part of the price. You don't have to pay extra for that. When they come in, I'm just going to tell you guys that are watching now, we're going to have a DJ that's going to DJ the whole camp. So, we're trying to make this a really unique experience. I see Miss Cherie in the background. And we're going to mix some old school and some new school. And it ain't going to be all this NBA young boy and what's the other guy, the baby. We ain't going to have all that the whole time. We're going to mix it in for the coaches too, Phillips. So I'm gonna get your request. I think we might get each coach a song that they want to hear. So it's gonna be unique. We're gonna have some competition. We'll have fastest man competition. We'll have longest throw competition. We'll have longest field goal competition. So things that are just gonna try to make it a fun experience, and then try to get our minds off of all the other stuff that's going on in the world, because it's just crazy out here. So that's really the purpose and the motivation behind the Under the Lights camp. I want to thank all the parents and the players for having the trust in us to do this, because obviously it's our first one, and I didn't know how it was going to go, but the reaction has just been incredible. So I want to thank everyone for your support, and hopefully we're going to give you an experience that is going to motivate us to possibly do another one in the future as well. So. Let's bring everybody back, because I don't know what happened to LJ. So we'll bring it. I caught you. Sneaking. All right. So we have he's been in the background for about an hour. So I guess we should go ahead and bring him on, because he's been very
guys are always waiting in the shadow.
He's been waiting.
Yes, sir.
And we're gonna bring him on here, and that is now LJ's coming on. All right, so all right, so we go.
Oh, you don't get my boy.
All right, hold on.
You don't got my boy on hype.
I'm gonna handle this. All right, give me 1 second. All right, here we go. All right, hold on. Let me get my stuff together, because I was getting ready to just move on, but all right. This young man has been a great coach at multiple places, most notably at Butler. He's come over to Harding. He's been the offensive coordinator for the football team. He's the Harding head basketball coach. and I think he's one of the most busiest men around, which is why he's on now. And we're supposed to have 2 minutes, but we're going to give him a little more time. That is Harding Ram offensive coordinator and head basketball coach, L.J. Johnson. And we're going to bring him on right now.
Everybody, what's going on? What's going on with you?
All right, hold on. I got to get my setup right. You see, you just threw me off, Coach. You threw me off.
Hey, man, just like you just said, man, being busy, running around, doing what coaches do,
I know.
Ran a little over. Coaches can't never get out of there on time when you got
Absolutely. Yeah, I know. So first off, I want to say, and I've told you this before, but I want to say people may not know, but you have a newborn. So congratulations, on the newborn. And, I know, they're doing well. And I know you were feeding them a lot of milk and all that. And,
yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. You'll see it with some pom-poms and stuff that, some games coming soon.
Good deal, man. Good deal. All right. So first off, I want to ask you, how are you able to be offensive coordinator for the football team and head basketball coach in the middle of this pandemic and still coach the club team, the Team Charlotte team that you do? How are you able to handle all those things so efficiently?
I mean, I think I appreciate the compliment, making it look as easy as I make it look. It definitely takes a lot of time management that I've been able to work on that, a lot over the years. Working from home helps, not having to travel around and, do lunch duties and things like that. But it definitely consumes a lot. It just got to have a strict schedule. And I think the tutelage that I've been under of head coaches before I was able to get into this role that I'm in, and, how they just handle practices accordingly with, practice scripts and, how they stay on time and they stay tedious to, their instruction that they want to give at that time. It's definitely helped over the years. So, I've just got to watch a lot of great coaches do it before me. And, I just kind of soaked all this stuff up like a sponge and been able to apply my own pressure to it.
Very good, man. Very good stuff. So, like I said, a lot of people know you from Butler when you were down there with Coach Hales for all those years. But I want to go back a little before that. What got you into coaching? And then what were the things that you took from Coach Hales that you kind of apply to yourself now being a head coach and offensive coordinator?
Well, and I was still playing. I was still playing. My first volunteer job was at Providence High School, and I got the opportunity with Randy Long. I was coaching the receivers out there. Ricky Pro had a son that just moved into town named Austin, and so they kind of tied everything together, and was able to work with him a little bit. My first interaction with Hales was actually the Providence. This is back when the Southwest 4A held Providence and Butler, both in the conference. So this is, about an October, mid-October game, and Shannon Striblin gets a cramp over on Providence sideline. So I'm sitting there kind of jonesing with him while he got a cramp, and Hale storms over there. Yeah, I guess he thought I was talking junk, and so that was we exchanged a little bit of words there, and that was my first interaction with him. But as he was walking up, I was like, man, I kind of like that dude. He all right. And so that following summer, I had a younger brother who was getting ready to go in transition into high school, who needed a better opportunity academically and athletically. And so, I had kind of put the ball down, put the cleats down, and just wanted to transition into coaching full term, and instead of just the volunteer side of things. And I had a friend that I went to college with who was on the staff at Butler and kind of put in a good word for me. And everything kind of just lined up right, because they were full, and then all of a sudden a coach ended up deciding that he didn't have enough time to coach that upcoming season. And so, a position opened up for me, and it was actually an easy transition because more of the base offense that Butler ran was installed with Barry Shuford, their first head coach, and I played for him in high school. So some of the hand signals and stuff like that. Once I got in there with Hells, and I was like, oh man, yeah, I remember all that. And we just kind of hit it off. It was bigger than X's and O's from the get go, and that's a lifelong friend. Bigger than just the boss mentee relationship that it was at the beginning.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. I got Brandon Phillips here, and he's got a question for you, Coach. I'm gonna bring him on.
Oh Lord.
Every time. What's
Man,
up, Coach?
where this question going? What's up, bud?
Man, you already know, man. After what you did for my player last year when you got hurt, you already know I ain't no come sideways at you because a lot of people don't. You know what I'm talking about. A lot of people don't know, but my respect for you is beyond football for what y'all did at Harden. So I still appreciate that. My question for you is: do you see yourself being like Coach Wilson at Hickory Ridge? Do you see yourself being more just the head coach of the basketball program? Do you see you taking on another role? Because I know you can do both because I seen what you do. Now, a lot of people don't see what you do with the football team, and you do a lot. And I can see you being a head coach for a football program one day. I'm not saying Harden, but I think I can see you doing both football and basketball. Do you see yourself doing that in the future?
Well, I think the biggest thing that I've taken from being able to wear these multiple hats that I wear is that you kind of just take it in stride. You don't set your bar too high or set it too low, and you just be ready to embrace opportunities when they appear. The question I get asked the most is which sport do you like the most? And my answer is always the same. I like whichever one is in season. So, I can't really put a pinpoint really what, what I'm saying, that future looks like. But all I know is that I can prepare to be ready for it if the opportunity presented itself. So, if somebody saw that opportunity in me and thought that I could lead both the football and the basketball program, or I like baseball, I like soccer, I like tennis too. So if somebody saw that type of future in me, I mean, we'll be able to discuss and talk about it and see what we can come up with.
All right, so I'm gonna send this to Coach Bailey now.
Oh Lord, I know Bailey watching too now.
Oh man, so I do want to ask you though, all the years at Butler, what interested you in coming over to Harding to take the head basketball job?
So this year before I took the job at Harding, we were actually their last playoff game. We saw them in the first round, and when the job kind of presented itself, I just kind of looked at the talent that was coming back. I liked the athleticism that they showed. When I went over to scout them, I really thought that they could get up and down the floor. It was evident that they were a playoff team, and I saw that there was a lot of talent there. I just felt at that time that I had did all I could do at the point that I was at Butler, and when and that opportunity presented itself. So I just felt like why not take this step? Because I felt if I would have stayed, you find yourself getting complacent, you find yourself getting comfortable, and that hinders the opportunities that can be in front of you. It hinders growth, and I wanted to avoid that. And so and it was ironic because that was Coach Lowry's first head coaching job. So I had a good group of people around me that not only kind of groomed me to be ready for that role, but gave great recommendations to Dr. Ward and Coach Bailey. And they took a chance on me because I'm young still. 3 years ago I was right at 30. So they didn't have to take a chance on me, and I'm just very grateful that they did.
Yeah, I'm glad they did too, man. I'm glad when I saw the news, I literally screamed at the house. I said, yes, that was the right choice, and it's proven to be so. It's proven to be so.
Thank you.
Man, last question I want to ask you. Who are the best players that you've coached, either in football or basketball, either one?
Ooh, you gonna make somebody mad because I'm gonna forget somebody. I think
that's okay.
All right, so football, the most dynamic player that I've ever got to lay eyes on is probably Anthony Radley. Pound for pound, best athlete. You know, you can just throw something at him, and it's just like, I can do that. No, you can't. No, you can't. And like, he just goes out and gets it done. No matter what the weight is, no matter how high the boxes were set, he would always go find a way to get it done effortlessly. And it's just like, you want to push kids to, get more out of them. But he just kind of always just made everything look so easy. He was always first in the sprints. That's something from a leadership standpoint, you as a coach always want to look for. Like, your best player got to be able to win the reps. He got to lead by example. He did that. Won every rep. And if he didn't win it by enough, you would get on him just so he could, separate. And I'm excited to see, his future and where he continues to play. He's out in Oakland right now. And, I think the sky is the limit for him. But another great athlete was Jalen Calzer. I mean, Jalen Calzer played the D-line for us. He was an all-state at Butler as a sophomore. But he has the best hands that I've ever seen. I mean, like, they were short, they kind of round and stubby, but I mean, he plugged the ball. If he didn't have 200 extra pounds on him, he could be playing receiver anywhere, So, like, we did a lot of things with him. He was a man in the trenches. He was fast. He could run sideline to sideline. He could kick too. If we ever needed somebody to kick, if we was down bad at kicking, he could get that done too. So, I can keep going because I came into my first year at Butler was the freshman year for Clifton Duck and Benny LeMay. So I got to see them grow. I continue to talk with them on a daily. I'm extremely excited about their futures as well. Basketball, man, I've been around. I've been around some great guys. I'm not even gonna make them mad. I'm gonna leave that alone. But I've just been very privileged and very blessed to be able to express and showcase some things that I've learned on my journey with the next tier of talent, and they've been able to embrace it and not just take it in a negative light. And they continue to use little tidbits that I've given them and build their own little masterpiece. And it's been exciting to watch over the years.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Good stuff. We got a couple comments here. Shalit 3, not LJ. So I think you know that guy.
Yeah, I know that one. Right now. What's going on? He's another one. He's another one that I've been able to give tidbits to, and he takes it. He takes what he wants to take, and when he listens, he knows that it works. So I practice what I preach. I can get out there and get it done still to myself.
Otis Powell's got Coach LJ with only playing 7 games this spring season. Who will Harding play?
Well, I'm still in communication with Coach Bailey on that myself, because I'm very anxious to find out who's gonna play who and when. And I mean, because that's gonna be different. Training in February instead of training in August, it's a lot of things from a coaching aspect that we'll have to adjust to. And so, it's just trying to put everything in place. Hopefully we get all our conference games in. I'd be excited. I like the rivalry games out of conference, so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing if we could get West Charlotte on that schedule. That's always a big game. and an exciting game too. It'd be really exciting this year too. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. But so I'm really ready to play whoever. Long as we can get out there, roll the ball out and keep everybody safe from a safety standpoint and healthy. I'm sorry. I'm down for it all. So with them 7 games, let's just make sure we get it rolling.
That's right. And then Mizzle 3 watches the show every week.
Yeah,
my guy LJ. So
hey, congratulations to him too. I've been a fan of his for a long time. We always talk about being the next wave of coaches coming up in the city, and so I'm excited for him to get an opportunity to showcase his talent up there at Mooresville. I'll definitely be tuning into them. We can get a game in next year too. I'm gonna let you get your feet wet.
All right, there it is. Let's see. I think that's it, Coach. Anything else you want to say?
Oh man, I just appreciate everything that you do for the community of Charlotte, and the spotlight that you give not only coaches, that you give the players as well. I'd ask that all the players and everybody watching to make sure you don't take anything for granted out here. Make sure that you guys are all staying safe, and make sure you're doing your part to stop this social injustice. It's very difficult out here at this time, and whatever light that we have, let's make sure that we keep it shining. So and use that to kind of roll over into other things.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Coach. That's my fault. I should have asked you about that. But yeah, we touched on that hard at the beginning of the show. So I know you did. Okay. Well, appreciate that, man. And last thing, Mizzle is up for that game. So there you go.
Somebody said I heard he wanted Hopewell.
Oh yeah, that's the backstage comment. So I was gonna let that go. So LJ, man, I appreciate you coming on, man. I'll see you real soon over at the school, man.
Straight up, everybody.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. Appreciate it, man. All right, so that was LJ Johnson, in LJ fashion, if y'all know him. No surprise there how he was. I'm gonna bring everybody back because now we are going to get to our guest who has patiently waited for over an hour, almost an hour and 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I don't know what the clock is, but we're gonna have to create the Coach Barry Merritt Award, because this, in the history of Football Focus Weekly, no one has waited backstage as long as you have. And I want to give you your shout out and credit and say thank you for being so patient with us as we go through all of our stuff.
I just appreciate you letting me come on and represent A.L. Brown football. And old saying that I've always heard is you can always fix early, but you can't fix late. So I didn't want to be late, and I made a comment in the background here. I told Coach Newsom I was doing this tonight, and just in case he ever sees it, I don't want to be late getting on because I know he'd never let me hear the end of it. So I just made sure I was here. But I've enjoyed watching, and I try to keep up. If I can't catch them live, I try to catch a recap or something every week. So I appreciate you having me on.
Well, Coach, go ahead and introduce yourself and let us know what you do over at A.L. Brown.
So my name is Barry Merritt. I am the offensive coordinator and wide receiver coach. Been here this will be my 6th season. Been the tight end coach for a year, then coached the wide receivers for the last 5. Offensive coordinator for the last 3. Before A.L. Brown, I was at North Iredale. I was a defensive coordinator there. Been to Pinecrest and South Stanley. Before that, though, I was a student assistant at Appalachian State for 2006 through 2008. So it was a great time to be a Mountaineer, a couple national championships. And then I did my student teaching at AC Reynolds with Shane Laws and the Rockets, and we won the state championship in 2009. So had a lot of fun years, coached with a lot of fun guys, and it's all learning experiences and building relationships. And I appreciate all the people that have helped get me to where I'm at today. And I'm also the head strength coach at A.L. Brown. Just when Todd Hagler left to go to River Bluff in South Carolina, I was promoted to the head strength coach. So it's been a exciting first couple of weeks of school, and getting the guys back into school has been real exciting, and the kids are working hard. So we're doing good in Kannapolis.
Tell them where you from, B.
The Trefo, Winston-Salem. I was a graduate of R.J. Reynolds High School.
Here we go.
Yeah, graduated from R.J. Reynolds, and played for Mike Probst there for my senior year.
Pros, man.
Needless to say, there's not a big market for 5'6", not super fast white kids in college football. So I went ahead and just did the student coach thing. Playing college wasn't for me. So, but it was a good experience. I can say I was a good high school football player.
Now you see why I call you a legend. He's a legend. I tell Merritt all the time. He want to always give me my flowers. Man, take your flowers.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I'm bad at taking compliments, but I appreciate it, Coach.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump into what you got here. And this is, I'm telling you, this is going to make my stuff last week look like crap.
What happened when you bring A.L. Brown? You know, like you said, he got Newsom. He watching. You knew he was
everybody thought I was going. I thought about coming on here and talking about that wing T stuff we do, and just bag. I said, nah. I think I'm gonna,
hey, off topic.
Off
topic. You should have heard his explanation when he was asking, "What all do you want, B?" I was like, "Lord Jesus, I already knew what was about to happen."
No. So, Pepe, are you gonna run the presentation from your screen?
Yeah, just let me know when you want to switch it, Coach.
That's fine. Either way. So what I want to talk about today is something that, a ton of guys do. It's nothing, revolutionary. It's just inside zone with RPOs attachments. And the next slide, I talk about split flow zone, or I talk about zone blocking, excuse me. And really what zone blocking is, for everybody that doesn't know, people kind of think it's an area. You're responsible for the defender who occupies your play side gap. So if I'm the right tackle and we're running inside zone to the right, I've got the C gap defender, play side guard B gap, center A gap, so on and so forth. And the way that you divvy up who's got what is basically there's covered and uncovered rules. If there's a guy head up of me or on my play side gap, I am covered. If there's not somebody, then I'm uncovered. And so if I'm covered, I've got that guy. If I'm uncovered, then I'm doubling to my play side help and climbing to the second level defender. I don't have to block the guy if he stays to my play side. So if I'm the right guard and there's nobody covering me, I'm going to step to help the tackle. If that guy stays in C gap, now I'm going to climb to the first backer ahead of me and try inside leverage on him, since we're talking about inside zone. Coach Elliott, when I was at Appalachian State and I worked with the offensive line, his big thing was get vertical push. Zone blocking, sometimes people finesse it and they talk about, move guys, wash guys. And there's some people that are successful with that. But I found the best way to inside zone is play side. You've got to create vertical push. You've got to get guys pushed off the line of scrimmage. And what that'll do is create lanes for the running back to cut back. Your goal for your backside offensive lineman is to cut off the pursuit from the backside and, again, give those running backs room to run. And just basically in any zone blocking scheme, there's 4 gaps of attack. The running back can hit some different places in the line. For inside zone, you've got play side A all the way to backside C. You see some backs that are really good at reading the flow of the linebackers and running backs, linebackers overplaying it and coming across and bending up all the way to the backside of the play. So the next one I've just got kind of drawn up against a 6-man box, a basic standard even box. What split flow zone looks like. And really, if defenses would always line up with 6 guys in the box to my 6 offensive players, calling offense, it would be a lot easier. Coaching against Coach Mclamrock and the 3-3 stack the last few years, he's got guys coming from 14 different places. Put a couple of D1 athletes out there named Boykin, and now all of a sudden it's like you're calling defense against 15 or 16 guys. But this is just a basic drawing. basic diagram, and the running back has some different choices of places he can go. But again, this is overly simplified because, again, nobody is going to just keep those 6 guys in the box for my 6 blockers to block. That's a win for the offense in just about any situation. So what reason why RPOs came about is on the next slide is that the box numbers change. You don't always have 6 guys. So in an odd defense, you're going to get an extra defender from one side. You may have 6, you may have 7, depending on their coverage. In a 4-3, it's pretty standard. It's easy to see you got 7 guys, but I only have 6 blockers. That H-back coming across, he's going to account for the backside C gap. Against a bear front, 7 blockers, guys zone. Don't try to trap the bear and don't run zone into a bear. You're probably not going to be very successful. And then the last one, the 3-3 stack, that odd stack, you've got guys coming from a lot of different places, and the odd stack's not as popular of a defense anymore. It became real popular with Charlie Strong at South Carolina, and there's still some people that have a lot of success with it. But as far as calling runs against a defense, that is, to me, that is the hardest one, because there's just too many guys can come from too many places into the gaps. It's hard for the offensive lineman to decipher who their double teams are going to be when you're playing an odd stack defense. So the reason, again, why RPOs came about was because of these defenses being able to move people in and out. And so what you have to do as an offense now is create ways to account for those first players. And so basically what we do now is we attach my 6-year-old. I told him if he came in here, I would have to put him on. So now he's shy, so he ain't gonna come in here. But on my next slide, I've got a basic, just an RPO that you'll see anybody do, and it's not really special to the inside zone running scheme. You can do this against a lot of different run schemes, but basically you're going to divide your field into thirds, and what you've got to do is you've got to teach your quarterback which field do you want to play on. You can start blue box on the left. If you like the leverage of that strong safety, if you think he's fitting in the run, we can throw the bubble and put the ball in the athlete's hand in space in the flats and make him run. Great. If you like the one-on-one matchup on the other side with the hitch, if that corner's bailing, if he's playing off, if we've got a jump advantage, throw the hitch. If they've covered 2-over-2 to the blue side, they've covered 1-over-1 tight on the hitch, and you're being very simple. You're not going to side adjust that route to anything else. Then you run what is in the box. And the thing is the defense now cannot account for all of the gaps in the box because they have to keep 2 out here, and they have to commit too many people outside of the box to account for everybody inside the box. And so the other way that you can account for people is by also reading a defender. So most of the time when people run zone read, they're going to like to read the backside C-gap defender, which in this case is the 5 technique. And it's another way to account for another defensive player. It's another advantage to the offense if your quarterback is athletic and can run a little bit, which we've been blessed at A.O. Brown to have some. We still have plenty. Cam Chroma, we've got Jerome Blakeney, Joey Vanover. We've got some great kids that are threats with the ball in their hand. And so we've got a way to account for all of the defensive possibilities with a simple run pass option. Nothing fancy on this one. So the next one is you're going to give the defense the same look. This is a great play if your quarterback is not a great runner, or that H-back is a guy that you really want to get the ball in his hand somehow. This is a very simple way to do it. You're going to run the same inside zone read run, and that H is going to come across as if he's going to kick the backer like regular split flow zone, or he's going to arc for the backer like we did on the last play. But right here, instead of chipping, instead of arcing, now he's going to continue out to the flats. And if that 5 technique takes the running back, the quarterback pulls it, sets his feet, and the ball gets out to the flat so much faster than having a guy run it. I've never seen a football player, no matter how fast they are, that can run faster than the thrown football. So you get the ball out to the flats so much faster with something like this, and it stresses the defense a lot more. Now they start rolling safeties down, and they got to start doing different things. But the great thing is you're not changing anything for the 5 offensive linemen. You're not changing anything for the running back. You still got the hitch on the other side. You're really only changing the play for just a couple of guys. But to the defense, it's a totally new scheme. To your offense, it's just another inside zone. There's really no difference to the base core of your offense. So this is Coach.
Coach, are you going? Is the alignment X to the left, Z to the right, Y there to slot, H is your inside kind of backer? Very similar to
So what we do in ours, those 2 guys on the outside are just X's. There are X receivers, is what we're going to call them. They're going to be your number 1 receivers. A lot of our guys, we had a kid, Isaiah Black, for example, superb athlete, 3-point athlete. He's a guy that you can run jet with. He's a guy you can motion in the backfield. He's also a guy that's played a little quarterback, but he's a guy that you can line up on the line of scrimmage and play X. He'll be a guy that will play that outside position. And then you just take your standard X receiver. He's usually a guy that, he's a good ball catcher. He may be a possession receiver, maybe a guy like the guy we had last year, Jose Vargas, that was a matchup threat because he's 6. I know Coach Mclamrock's nod his head on that one. Jose's just, he was a big kid. He's 6'3", 220 pounds, and had a 300-pound hang clean. He was just a monster out there, and so he created matchup problems. Yeah.
They got monsters in Kannapolis.
Oh, no. We do have good kids, and they work real hard, and that's to be there. For us, that guy that's running that flat route, he's kind of a hybrid tight end fullback.
Yeah.
The guy that played that for us last year, Austin Grundon, he's walking on at Western Carolina. We got a kid that was a sophomore last year that played that's coming back as well, Jaden Johnson. Great guy, athlete, plays 3 sports as well. There are guys that you want to get the ball in their hands, and they're a hard guy to tackle. They've got good ball skills. They can catch it and run in space, but they're also a guy that's big enough to kick out on power. He's a guy that will motion him in and then kick out on power, or we'll motion him and have him walk on ISO or fill on ISO. He'll be a wrap guy on counter. So he's a little bit of a bigger body, but more of a tight end, kind of a fullback type body. If that makes any sense. Does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah, that was perfect, Coach. That makes perfect sense.
Gotcha. All right. So the last one is probably the fanciest. I'm gonna say the most kind of in vogue the most in vogue kind of deal. So right here, you're going to create some different problems for the defense, and this is kind of an answer that we would do when the defense is giving us problems. So, for example, if your 5 technique is a guy that is really adept at playing zone read, he's a guy that can squeeze and then run with your quarterback. They're playing games, they're squeeze scrape gap exchanging with that backside 5 and that Mike. So what we'll do is we'll lock the tackle on that 5, and we will bring that H now, still coming across, it looks like always, but now he's going to fill, and he's going to more or less ISO block that Mike. So now when guys want to squeeze that 5 and arc that Mike, this gives them problems. And what our quarterback now reads is that Mike. He still has the hitch on that one side. That hitch is always there. If you're going to give us that hitch, we'll nickel and dime you down the field, and we'll take our 5 and 6, and maybe we'll break a tackle and make a play. If the Mike fills on the run, if he sits in there and he reads block out and block down, and he sees an open gap in front of him like a good linebacker will, he'll fill. Our quarterback can ride it and pull up, and now his eyes go to the strong safety. And now it's just an inside-out read. Do I hit the slant? If that strong safety squeezes on the slant, now I'm throwing the thin route to the outside guy. But it's a simple inside-out double slant type read. Coach Phillips, hit me. He said 3 plays. I kind of stayed with the same play family. But the reason why I think this is great, and what I think a lot of people in the stands or coaches and things that I still struggle with is keeping it as simple as possible and layering plays on top of each other. My call sheet, it has the base play. It's going to have that split zone play, but then it's going to have, if they do this, this is my answer. If they do this, this is my answer. If they give us this alignment that's a little different, this is my answer. So, a play sheet may have 1, 2, 3 plays just like this. And based on what the defense is doing, if they take one away, this is kind of where we go on the next step in the progression. And so I think that's the way that I kind of learned how you call offense. And that's really what I believe is the best way to do it.
I appreciate you showing that, because you got all the Madden 21 that came out, and everybody want to run them RPOs.
This is how you do it, man. This is it. This is know your read key and eye discipline. You got to make sure.
I love that you brought the H-back stuff in there, because at Providence my first year under the great Brad Bowles and his dad, we had a mean H-back named Patrick Blumenberg, and he would knock your darn nose off into the dirt. And that H-back, you got to be mean to play H-back. You got to have hands, and you got to be big and mean.
You do. It's the in vogue fullback. It's a new age fullback, and we've had a lot of success the last few years with tight end wing, and that's a formation that gives a lot of defensive problems. Creating that 4-man surface, you got to have 5 run gaps to that side. It causes a lot of guys problems. They gotta switch up some defensive moves.
So, quick question for you, Coach. Do you ever see them try to give you a 7 with that H-back at? Like slide the line? You ever see them try to slide the line, give you a 7 instead of a 5?
Yes. So they will do some funky things with that guy, with that 5 to that side, depending on what they think we'll do.
Yeah.
For us personally, we've been such an inside run team.
You don't get a 5.
With that scheme, we get 5s a whole bunch. But what we will do, so with that wing, a lot of times with that wing outside, people are going to widen them thinking outside zone. I got to set the edge. I don't want to get reached. So that's when you're widening them. Well, then you do some motioning, you do some late shifts, things like that make them adjust. And now you got to change what the linebackers are going to do in order to make all the run fits right.
Yeah.
You might have to bring a safety down, because right now, looking at that defense, right now, the best place, honestly, to put the football is if you can set the edge on the right side.
Yeah.
Safety's got to become the extra hitter on that side. It's got to be the guy that's going to fill that gap.
Because you got all you guys a 10 and a 30 backer, and that works to your favor. And so that weak side safety guy walked down to really bring that box in.
He does. And so, and that's, any defensive guys that are watching this, I understand you're not going to line up like this, but as far as just putting it on a piece of paper.
You got to put it.
This is it.
But even we walk down, even how I walk that weak safety down, he's that edge setter. You still got everything open, because now you got to play a couple 3, or you playing some inverted roll stuff right there. So it still plays into your favor.
You're going to go real close. Yeah. Now you're opening up holes deep.
And if you go one high, one of the things that I was able to be successful with last year, because this is actually my offense, this is my set. This for us would be Clemson right, blue, putting it back into the left side. So this is Clemson right for us. That H, one of the things I was successful being able to do was get very, very creative with that H. Slip him right up, because that safety's going to come down. Slip him right up the seam. Act like he get ready to block. Slip him right up the seam and throw the ball to him right now.
Well, pop pass. Yeah.
Oh, my God. I love that. And just a dump ball to him. He's right there.
So a quick adjustment. They want to stay too high. You probably seen this too, Coach. They'll take that hybrid safety, that box safety. They'll move him to an apex. They'll put him like at a 50. They'll move that Mike to a 10, and then move that Strong to a 30. And that's still, but you still got numbers. You still got the numbers game, because now that box safety, he had to sit. So what you will see, read concept coming. You'll see a 2 read right there, and you gotta stretch that stuff. That's the only way that'll work. But then that bubble stuff will start. Your other RPOs don't start coming.
Yep, you're exactly right. You're exactly right, Coach Phillips. There's conflict players, and that usually that extra safety is the conflict guy. And in everybody's defense. And that's why usually a lot of guys, if you watch a defense on film, that's the first guy you look for.
Yep.
Their best defensive player.
Yep.
For guys now, if they're two high safeties, that extra strong safety, that third safety is going to be one of their better ball players.
Yeah, he gotta be a dog, that's how I start telling people that actually know how to coach football, because I often say most of the time when you see 4-2-5, that's what offensive coaches don't look at. They don't look at that box safety and they want to see how you line up to this and that, and they don't try to start plugging plays, like even with trips and stuff like that. That's the one thing y'all love to see. What you don't do in trips? When I go trips, what you don't do when I go bunch? What you don't do when I could go stack? But most hard-nosed coaches like Coach Merritt, they want to see what you don't line up to this. When I put that big boy on there, what he don't do. So that's a little hint for you guys. You gotta know what the offense. If you want to be successful on either side of the ball, you gotta know what the other side is going to do when you do this. It's chess. It's chess. That's one thing I learned. I never coach offense, but I understand what offense want to do. That's why I became a great defensive in the second, especially in the secondary. You just can't go back there and be some Joe Smo from the street.
No, that's a good way. That's a good way to get lit up.
Yes.
That was the biggest thing for me. I'd been, offensive at App and at AC Reynolds, and then I go to North Iredale and they needed defensive coaches, and I became the defensive coordinator. And that made me. We turned the program around. We went 6-5 my last year there at a program that hadn't been winning. And that was a great time. And then came back to A.O. Brown and back on the offensive side. And it was – and that, like you said, coaching both sides of the ball makes such a difference. But calling defense is way harder than calling offense.
Heck yeah.
You got to have the solution.
So much harder. You do. And you can't cover every hole the offense has. The offense has 15 holes that they can put the ball in. You only – dudes. It's my job to find the 4 that you can't cover.
Tell me about it. I had a nightmare after the Morris Park game. I had nightmares for like 2 nights.
I'm sure, especially when you got a dude that can spin it like him. He
bombing a Pearl Harbor.
The holes become a lot bigger.
Guys, you got any other questions for Coach?
Nah, I just want him to come back. I want to see. I know he got some trip stuff. He know I love 3x1 stuff. That's what I want to see, because that's the pain in my butt.
You should have told me. I asked. I
told you you to come back, Coach. I said, hey, this ain't no once in a lifetime thing. God darn, man. Come on, man.
I just wanted y'all to know that I know Coach Mclamrock comes in here and represents for Cabarrus County and the FBC and all. I just wanted everybody in Charlotte to know there is football outside of Charlotte. There's good football outside of the city.
Now we've been to Cabarrus County.
Oh, not you.
Don't get him started. Don't get him. Let him get on his soapbox. Let him get on his soapbox. Let him have it.
I know you know. Oh, I do appreciate you having me on, man. And I will. I'm not going to chime in a whole bunch, but what you hit on earlier, what's going on in our nation right now, it's pitiful, and it's splitting us up, and I can't imagine what it's like to be a young African American, especially African American male. I teach weightlifting classes, and that's who I spend more time than with my own kid. And kind of talking to them and the kids that we've got some great kids that are real thoughtful. We had a kid this year, one of our JV linebackers actually put out a petition to get Woodrow Wilson, one of our elementary schools, the name changed because of the things that Woodrow Wilson was a part of during his presidency and before with his political views. And, we've got some kids and kids everywhere that are real thoughtful and real aware about the world that they're living in. And I just I hope the best for them, and I hope that we can all get this figured out, because it doesn't seem to be getting any better, unfortunately. And I don't know what the answer is. But it's I hope for our future, for my kids' future, for everybody's future, that we can figure this stuff out so we can come together as a nation.
Well,
man, I love you for that, man. I've been telling people, I've been a big voice, and I've been trying to lead the charge. But man, I love you for that, and I appreciate you. Deeper than football, you my guy. You're my guy.
Oh, it is. It's a lot more than I know. Coach hit on that a little bit ago. It is LJ hit on that a little bit ago. It's more than football, and I appreciate Coach Thompson. I was hoping Coach Thompson would spill some beans, but he played it close to the vest earlier. We had an Olympic on the schedule, but I don't think we're not going to get to play them just because they were going to be our first game. But hopefully we can bring it back because that was going to be a good game. We were excited about getting the chance to play against them. So hopefully we can maybe make that happen in another time.
Yeah, Coach Bird chiming in from Hopewell. He said good stuff, Coach Merritt.
Coach Bird's defense got me yelled at. That was the first offensive game I ever called at A.L. Brown was against Hopewell. And we threw a pick on the first drive. Jordan Medley was a junior, and I was going straight down the call sheet. And we got to the red zone, and I threw fade flat. I'll never forget it, fade flat, and Medley threw a pick. I was like, what am I doing? It turned out okay, and Medley turned out to be he's doing great in Kansas. I'm excited for him. But
awesome. That's awesome, man.
Never forget those things. And Cam Chroma popping in, man. That's my boy right there. He's going to be the next great one. I'm excited to see what happens with him. I'm excited. I love coaching that kid every day. I love seeing him. I wish we
He's a gym. He's a gym.
Man, I interviewed him
every day. I did.
Yeah. He is a great kid, man. I know you're excited to work with him. What, 2 more years?
Beyond his years, yes. This season, he'll just be a junior. I saw him, after quarantine. You keep up with him. We did all the Google Meets, and our guys are great about coming to that stuff. They're committed.
Mm-hmm.
And Cam, you see him from the neck up, and Cam was tall and long, and he came in and he had put on about 15 pounds, about 200 pounds now, and he looks, he muscled up, and he's gonna really hopefully we get our chance to show it this year. He's gonna be one that's I think really gonna surprise some people that haven't already noticed that he is a very talented young man, and there's a lot that he can give the ball to as well. That we've got some other kids around him that are looking for a chance to make some plays.
Good deal. We'll be previewing the South Piedmont here in a few weeks. So, I know we'll be talking about a lot of your guys because there's always been a lot of talent up at Kannapolis. And I got a lot of bad memories back from the late 90s of going up there and getting my butt whooped. So.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Coach, I appreciate you coming on tonight, man. That was great. That was I'm learning stuff. And I'm gonna take that and just keep that in my bag, if I come back and coach in the next 20 years with Mclamrock, we'll come out there and we'll run that stuff together.
There we go. Mclamrock's the RPO king now. Very well.
He is. I give him his flowers.
Swinging around.
All right, appreciate it.
We call it PRO around me. It's PRO.
That's exactly. I felt like watching them. That's exactly what it was. And then you direct snap to Boykin, and then everybody knows what's happening now. It's all rolling.
You're representing for the city tonight, baby. You made the city.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. I got to get back up to Winston sometime.
Yeah, I know. Same here, man.
Yeah. Y'all
appreciate you coming on, man.
Thank you very much. Y'all have a good evening.
Coach. You too, man. All right. So that was Coach Barry Merritt with the A.L. Brown Kannapolis Wonders. And once again, in tradition, Cherie Glenn remains backstage for an extended period of time. So we will give her an end-of-show cameo for like the 4th week in a row. You're muted, Cherie.
Man, I just be back here trying to get all the gems that I can get from this show. Y'all don't have to call me out every week. It's
I do have to.
Backstage, man. Like I was back here eating my mashed potatoes and stuff, minding my own business.
Mashed potatoes. Okay.
Yeah, I had to get some dinner. But yeah, no, I was learning.
The mashed taters.
Yeah, mashed taters, man.
All right, so we we missed out on a couple of sound off. So Cherie and Ken, do you guys want to do it?
Yeah, I'll still do mine. I don't mind.
All right, Ken.
I gotta remember what I was going to talk about.
You up? Sound off. You got it.
Okay, so 2 days ago we actually celebrated Mama Day. It was the day after Kobe was supposed to turn 42. So rest in peace to him. In true fashion, the Lakers won that game that day the way only a Kobe-led team can win a basketball game. They dominated, and I used to love hating on Kobe. Just because I played basketball growing up, but I was always a selfless player. So I always looked at Kobe as like the selfish one. But when he died, I think I literally cried on and off for like 2 days straight. It was probably one of the saddest, losses, in the sports realm that I had ever experienced. So, I am, I will miss Kobe. I am definitely, he was taken too soon. And I just want to say, Mamba forever.
Well said, Cherie. I think we all can agree on that sentiment. Lakers came out and played inspired, and it was real impressive.
Oh, because I was texting
Cherie, baby.
I can't believe you used to hate on Mama back in the day, though, man.
I low-key hated on Mamba back in the day.
81 point score, 60 points.
Hey, man. Hey, God bless Mama. Do you see how he blessed my boy Bron? Oh.
All right, man.
Oh. He was dropping bombs.
Yeah.
Here you go, man. That's all the Lakers talk we don't have on. We done with the Lakers. So, on behalf of the panel, we ain't gonna have no more Lakers talk next week. So I promise you that. This is the Pet Man Matt Morrow. 9 people still watching. Thank you guys so much for supporting us on Football Focus Weekly. We appreciate it, and like I said, we're gonna set the bar. We're not gonna shy away from topics. We're gonna say what needs to be said and still give you a lot of good football knowledge. So, till next week. Thanks for watching. Everybody have a good week.